Shurvai Sharanamaham Prapadye. Om Shant Shant Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartribhyo Vamshashibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha. Sarvopaplavarahitaha prajnanghanaha pratyagartho brahmaivahamasmi. Brahmaivahamasmi. Om Vedantartha Vibhasakaya Gurave Shantaya Sannyasine Nanavadi Naghendra Sanghapavaye Yogindra Vandyaya Cha Mohadvanta Divakaraya Bhagavad Padabhidham Bibhrate Tasmai Bhashyakrite Namostu Satatam Purnaya Bodhatmane. Om. So far then we have seen, though every person, every individual over here is controlled by his prakriti, by his own nature. And by that nature, we mean those purva samskaras, the impressions that have come along with the person from his earlier lives, as well as which are collected now in this life, as a result of doing something wrong, something right, dharma, dharma. So they have left behind certain samskaras. These samskaras, in return, on having found a conducive environment, are bound to create raga and dvesha. And these raga and dvesha, which are now constituting, along with the dharma, along with the samskaras, becomes the nature of the person, prakriti. Thus, all our responses to the stimuli around will depend on these samskaras and the raga dveshas that are harbored inside. Therefore, whether it is a good person or a bad person, a saintly person or a criminal, will respond to the world according to his own nature. Not that the saints have not been accused or they have not been subjected to torture. They have been subjected to torture more than we can ever imagine. Yet there was no response of bitterness, violence, hatred from them. And that was therefore then because it is the prakriti of the person. I remember a very interesting story from the life of Sant Eknath. This person, Sant Eknath, the saint, was taking a bath in the river, and he saw a scorpion getting drowned in the water. So he put his palms, made a cup of his palm and then pulled that scorpion out. And in no time, when the water slipped from the gaps of his fingers, the scorpion raised its sting and stung the man. So it got dropped with that. It was dropped into the water again and started drowning again. So the Sant Eknath put his hand again and again. And every time he tried to save the scorpion would sting. Obviously, getting stung once itself is very painful. He was stung several times. So a person just standing on the bank of the river, on the cart, he asked Eknath Maharaj, just allow it to get drowned, let it go, move. It is stinging you again and again. That time, Eknath Maharaj said, if the scorpion does not give up its own nature, why should I? So you see, when we blame the environment for creating criminals or bringing out something that is bad in us, maybe our parents, our systems, our neighborhood, the company, all these things we have to blame. But remember, there is Prakriti. And everyone is bound by this Prakriti. But Shri Krishna Bhagavan also told that where is that window from where the person now can choose not only to alter the Prakriti, but not get caught up and snared by the Prakriti which keeps you bound. And he said that these raga dveshas, when they rise, when in your heart there is a response of anger, hatred, or liking towards something that is unrighteous, not good. At that time, instead of saying just I will do it because I like it, and I will do it because I don't like it, or not do it because I don't like it, instead of having this, getting caught up in this, what do they call, maze, ask a question, pause for a moment and ask a question. Is it appropriate or is it not appropriate for me to do this? Is it appropriate for me to avoid this or should I do it? Take a moment, ask yourself, because these are the moments when you are actually building your life. This is the moment when you are actually walking out of the prison of this raga dveshas. It is difficult in the beginning, but sooner or later, when these raga dveshas are not given any nourishment, then they will get weakened and drop away. The dharma samskaras will get strengthened. And when the dharma samskaras are strengthened, the prakriti of a righteous person is then the prakriti which helps you rise. Therefore, Shri Krishna Bhagavan said, Tayona vashamagachet. Don't come under the spell of this raga and dveshas. Just don't do things because you like it or doing it because you don't like it. But since I do not like you, I will like to punch your face. No, that's not the thing. Ask this question and then respond. Not out of guided by the raga and dveshas, but guided by the sense of righteousness. When this starts happening, it may be difficult in the beginning, because you may have to do things which are not to your liking. A lot of time this happens. Take a simple example. You have to wake up, and the person, no, I don't want to wake up. I want to wallow in this bed till it is 11 in the morning. And so the person already has lost a good chunk of time, as the useful time of the day. And therefore now it is difficult for him to just get up and get out of the bed when he's told that, wake up a little early. Nobody is saying that you have to wake up at 4 in the morning and then get going. That's too idealistic. That is not achievable to this person. But now you can start by waking up a little early. Let's say instead of 11 o'clock, wake up at 9. Slowly change your pattern to 8:30, to 7:30, to 6. And when you start putting in conscious effort, it is possible, and you will discover that how much time you have at your disposal to live life. Creative life. But he is not going to like it in the beginning. And if he is simply going to follow his likes and dislikes, then this person will never be able to pull himself out of the bed, because he likes to wallow, roll in the blanket over there. Thus now, friends, tayorna vashamagache, don't come under their spell. And the only way is by following dharma. Therefore, now we see that the Shastram, the scriptures, which allow us to educate ourselves about what is right, what is wrong, is arthavat, is meaningful. Otherwise, just if the person was controlled by his prakriti, then what is the point of this Shastram? He is going to behave good or he is going to behave badly according to his prakriti. Where is the escape? So now we know there is a point from where the ragadveshas, though have risen, but before those ragadveshas get transformed into an action, that little gap is a very crucial gap, and this has to be located by the seeker. Now the next question that comes is, well, sir, the Shastras are meaningful, you are saying. But another problem will arise, and that problem is, since this person already has likes and dislikes, he is bound to misunderstand even the Shastra, even the words of his teachers. He is bound to misunderstand them. And by misunderstanding, he is going to interpret what is adharma as dharma, and what is dharma as something that he should give up. Therefore, the problem has yet not ended. It has its little tail before it can go. So by saying that Shastram is something that will show you what is right, what is wrong, but what about this person now who is, because he is so heavily influenced by his, prejudiced by his likes and dislikes, he is bound to misinterpret. He is bound to misunderstand even the Shastra. And how will he misunderstand it? By saying what is adharma. Adharma means what should not be done. He is going to justify it as something that should be done. He will justify because it sits very conveniently with his likes and dislikes. And this person will now float in the idea that I am living a spiritual life, a righteous life, a good life. And therefore, this problem of misinterpreting is now going to be handled in this particular shloka. Because Arjuna, whose duty is to protect the people, and by protecting the people also just doesn't mean that, that the enemies are, so bloodthirsty that they may just ravage the cities and, loot and plunder, and therefore these innocent people who are without any arms, without any protection, will have to pay the price. That's not the only thing. Over here, in that older system, Arjuna is, and of course the king or the administrators, they have to take care that even protecting people from having the wrong values of life is also equally important, like protecting them from the enemies which may destroy them. And therefore, those politicians and leaders who stand in power, though they may not say it in words, but let us remember actions speak louder than words. When their message is going to be that when you are in power, you can do anything that you want. Even wrong can be proved as right, and right can be proved as wrong. And therefore, power and money is so important. If this is what is the person in power's philosophy, then he is sending that message across to all people. It is therefore instilling wrong values of life. And the people then who are under your umbrella, under your care, need to be protected even from the onslaught of such philosophies. Arjuna comes to the battlefield so that the justice can be upheld, so that the value of truth and truthfulness can prevail. And when Arjuna has taken this responsibility and discovers that his duty demands losing even those people and those things that are dear to him, Arjuna retreats. Arjuna wants to retreat. And now he says that, For every person, there is moksha. For me, moksha is the ultimate gain. And when moksha is the ultimate gain, and moksha is gained through knowledge, and dedicated lifestyle to the knowledge is the lifestyle of sannyas, in which every other action is renounced. Therefore, it is through sannyasa the jnanam has to be pursued. And now here he has found that if one has the spiritual quest, he can give up the action. Now, the action that Arjuna has to follow is not so pleasant. The duty is not so pleasant. And therefore now he sees that, well, giving up this duty under the pretext or because I am a mumukshu is truly following spirituality. And therefore Arjuna interprets sannyasa is dharma. But is it going to be the dharma for Arjuna or not is the question. It is dharma. Sannyasa is something that is righteous. But is it going to be dharma for Arjuna, for the individual? And therefore, now comes dharma becomes really dharma only when it is swadharma, when it becomes your sacred duty. For a mumukshu who is prepared in the sense who even in dream does not see the desire for putra vitta and loka. For such a mumukshu, sannyasa is his dharma. But for Arjuna, who so far has been into the eye of the cyclone, where everything has revolved around putra vitta and loka, suddenly coming to the battlefield, is it possible that everything will change immediately? Everything would change that easily? Without even the notice, without having any indications when the flower is about to blossom, the fragrance will start spreading slowly. So there are indications, but Arjuna had never ever shown this indication. He had never asked this question to Shri Krishna before. He may have asked questions and discussed what is right and what is wrong, but it never occurred to him so far that what is it that will truly set me free from the suffering altogether. Therefore, his question always was about the action and never ever about renunciation of the action. And today now he wants to renounce the action because it is not pleasant. Because he may have to lose people who are extremely dear to him, like his own teacher and the grandfather, and some friends who stand in the enemy lines today. Therefore, Arjuna is now using the same thing. He says, since sannyasa is dharma, by taking to the life of sannyasa is not living an adharmic life. How can you say sannyasa is adharmic? The person is not at all stepping on anyone's interest, causing any harm to anyone, because the first oath or the vow of sannyasa is abhayam sarvabhutebhyaha, that there is no harm from me to anybody in this world, to any person, any animal, even an insect. I do not hold any threat to anyone. My presence is not a threat to anyone. And remember, a person who is adharmic because unrighteous only because he has unbridled, uncontrolled desires. It is the uncontrolled desire only which will lead to unrighteousness. To adharma. But a sannyasi is someone who is free from all desires. Even the righteous desires also he doesn't have. Then by that virtue, how can you ever say sannyasa is adharma? Sannyasa is the epitome of dharma. Then for Arjuna, since sannyasa is dharma, I should take to it. Would that not be justified? Not justified, because Arjuna, sannyasa is not your swadharma. Remember that. We don't talk about things like that? Oh, it is right because he has done it. Then what is wrong in me doing it? Just because he does it does not mean that it will be right if you do it. Therefore, there is the concept of swadharma, the idea of your own dharma. That's why dharma is not just, as they say, religion. Dharma goes beyond the idea of any social identity. That's why now Shri Krishna is going to say in verse number 35, kindly look at it. Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha, Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha, paradharmat swanushthitan, paradharmat swanushthitan, swadharme nidhanam shreyaha, swadharme nidhanam shreyaha, paradharmo bhayavaha, paradharmo bhayavaha, shreyan swadharmo vigunaha. Paradharmat svanushthitat. Paradharmat svanushthitat vigunaha swadharmo shreyan. This is the arrangement of the shloka. Because this is in the verse form, meaning prose, poem form. So now to put it, to construct it into a sentence is called as the Anvaya. This is how it has happened. Swadharme nidhanam shreyaha paradharmo bhayavaha. So Swadharma and Paradharma, their dharma, both are dharma. What is bound to be, what is ought to be done by you, and what is ought to be done by somebody else. So as a father, you have your own duty, and as a son, he has his own duty. As a wife, you have your own duty, and as a husband, he has his own duty. And it means it is in reciprocation. Husband has a duty. If it is husband, obviously there is a duty towards his wife. As a wife, then there is a duty towards the husband. As a son, there is a duty towards the father, a mother, and then as a father, there is a duty towards his son or the daughter. There are these two between these two brackets. But if the father now tomorrow gets up and says, well, I will do it, that what my son should be doing, and just because my son will be punished in the class tomorrow since he has not finished the homework, let me do and fill in the pages so that his teacher doesn't discover and punishes him. So he is doing that what his son should be doing. It is the son's duty as a student to do the homework. So even if the father is able to do those mathematical problems, solve them very easily, better than even the class teacher, do you think by him doing that homework will help his son anywhere? So that is paradharma. What will be his dharma? To tell his son that, don't be scared, I will help you. Let us sit together, but you will do it. Then the father is following swadharma. Instead, if he does that, what his son should be doing, it is paradharma. Then the son tells his father, father, please finish my homework. I want to watch the cricket match. And that's why you finish. He is giving up his swadharma and doing something else. And therefore, though something is dharma, doing homework is dharma, but doing the homework by whom, the father or the son, is important. Therefore, it comes as swadharma. That what is ought to be done is dharma. That what should be done is dharma. But by whom becomes a very important question. By whom, where, when, how, all these questions then will tell you what is swadharma, will help you define what is swadharma. Speaking the truth is dharma. But we don't use it like a weapon against other people. Oh, I will speak the truth even if it hurts you. Then the truth will lose its virtue of being a dharma. Because what should a dharma do? It should help the person rise psychologically. It should help the person rise as a person it should bring about a wholesome overall development of the person. A person means, since he is the integral part of the society, even the society benefits from him. That's why dharma is the cause for abhyudaya. You remember this word? Maybe if it is difficult and somebody wants to name their newborn baby son, tell them abhyudaya. That's a nice name, abhyudaya. Abhyudaya means, abhi means paritaha, from all sides. Udaya means the rise. From all sides, every angle of a person. That is the phalam of dharma. इहलोक परलोक दोनों सुधर जाते हैं, अंतर्बही उस व्यक्ति का विकास होता है. So therefore, dharma means swadharma. So Bhagavan Shri Krishna says, Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat swanushthitat. Suanushthitat paradharmat. Suanushthitat means swanushthitat. That is how it will be. Anushthanam means to do something with commitment is called as anushtanam. To do something with commitment. But how is that committed action? Well done. Well done means, not performed, somehow it is done. No, but with whatever is required, anga, upanga, everything is perfectly done. Sometimes, does that not happen? People cook food. Oh, well, that is food, we eat it now. No, even if it is food and you have cooked it, serve it with love and respect. It should be presentable. And then the food can, it is said as serving food. Oh, well, there is this food and I'll eat it. No. It has to be like that. Even when you have to do the action, might as well do it, and do it well. Don't do it just because since it has to be done, kar hi dete hai na. I will do it because it has to be done. Now what else? There is no escape. So don't do things reluctantly. Any which ways you have to do it, then why not do it cheerfully? Why not do it full-heartedly? Why not do it with commitment and being involved in what you're doing? So that is suanusthana. Now, a person may be able to do something very well, but that is not what is his duty. So it is paradharma. But how is that paradharma? It is well done. It is well done. But Shri Krishna is of the opinion, Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha, that what is Swadharma, even if you are not able to do it, that do it, with even if it is not swanushtita. Viguna over here means swanushtita, completely, perfectly well. If you're not even able to do it perfectly well, it is still better than the paradharma, which you may do it, which you may be able to perform better. Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat suanushtitat. And living the life of swadharma is better than living the paradharma. Over here in Shri Krishna's words directly, he would say, Swadharme nidhanam shreyaha. It is better to follow your own dharma till death than to live the paradharma. Why? Because this paradharma is something that is bhayavaha. It carries bhayam. It will carry bhayam. Paradharmo bhayavaha. Swadharme nidhanam shreyaha. Paradharmo bhayavaha. Okay? Now this is the actual verse. Now I will like to take you through the more light which is shed by Bhagavan Bhashyakara and Shankaranandi Tika. Bahujanmanushtita punya punja paripakvanta karanasya sarvato viraktasya karmana moksha sadhanatvam apashyatasya eva mumukshoho vividishaya kartavyo dharma sannyasaha. Well, sannyasa is dharma. But for whom? It is for mumukshu. Then Arjuna says, I am also mumukshu because I want moksha. Who doesn't want to set himself free from the tortures of life completely? Who doesn't want to be free from suffering? Who doesn't want absolute freedom from suffering? Everybody wants. So by that sense, everybody is mumukshu. Then should that person take to sannyas? This is what happened in the later period of Buddhism. That it became, going and living into the monasteries almost became a fashion. And so those people who were then, criminals and things like that, antisocial people who wanted to escape the punishments, then became monks. And because they had become monks, now they could escape the punishment and the prosecution. Therefore, sannyasi is not just because, I feel like living in an ashram, Oh, sannyas means free lunch, free dinner. Therefore, now he says, well, sannyasa is dharma. Sannyasa is a dharma for mumukshu. But how is that mumukshu? Understand. Bahujanma anushtita punya punjaihi. Because now he has heap of that punya, which he has accumulated over several births. No, I was inspired to take to sannyas by so and so. No, it is not some sannyas that desire for sannyas is not something that will come to you. which will what which will be exported by someone. He convinced me to take sannyas. No, no, no. If you have that desire for sannyas now, no amount of other people convincing you will also be able to alter you. Like Nachiketa says, Tavaiva Vaha Tavanritya Gita, when he was offered all the pleasures, wealth, power, long life, healthy life, everything was offered to him. He says, Tavaiva Vaha Tavanritya Gita, keep that, I don't need it. All I need is to know what is the nature of Paramatma. So no amount of anybody's convincing is then going to change you. And therefore, if you are saying that I was convinced by such and such a person to take to sannyas, then that is also a deception. Even persuaded to change, if that sannyasi is what is truly wanted, it cannot be changed. Bahujanmanushthita punya punjaihi paripakvantak this, and he is a matured person. That psychology is very mature. Sarvato viraktasya, and he is free from the desires of all kind. So it is just not obstinacy, adamantness of a person. Because he has no desire, zero desire for putra vitta loka, sarvato viraktasya, karmana moksha sadhanatvam apashyataha. And also there is important thing that he sees the nature of karma, that the result of karma can be putra vitta loka, or the result of karma, if done without any selfish motive as an offering to Ishvara, then that karma will lead to the purification of the heart. Paripak antakaranasya. But that karma cannot do anything, it cannot become the cause for moksha. So he sees basically that karma, what is it that the karma can deliver, and what is it that I want? Can karma give me this? Even if I have more money, more women, more children, more wealth, more properties, will it set me free? Will I be able to behold Paramatma? With all these things, will I be able to attain Paramatma? That is his question. So this karma and karma phala is nothing, it cannot bring moksha. So karmanam moksha sadhanatvam apashyatasya mumukshoho, such a mumukshu. How is this mumukshu? The mumuksha is just not born. Because of you having some unpleasant experience with your wife or girlfriend or things like that, because your boss insulted you in the office, or you were not able to get a job, and that's why now I want to go, I'm becoming spiritual and taking to sannyasa, I'm going away because my girlfriend ditched me or something. That's nonsense. Apashyataha eva mumukshoho vividashaya kartavyod dharmaha sannyasaha. Then out of vividisha, when he takes to the life of sannyas, renunciation of all action in pursuit of knowledge, that is his dharma. That is dharma. Sannyasaha. Or else, athava kritarthasya vidushaha. Or else, if there is somebody who living as a householder has attained knowledge, attained enlightenment, and therefore he does not see that there is any duty to be performed. But now the only thing is that he wants that mind to be absorbed in Paramatma and not come out and look at this mithya world. Such a vidwan kritarthasya vidushaha sannyaso dharmaha. Sannyasa can become dharma. Natu mudhasya. Hey, it is not dharma for the person who is deluded. Deluded means the one who is under the spell of raga and dvesha. Okay, sanya the natumudhasya karmasu alasasya dukkha buddhya. For he who sees that performing the duty, Hai Ram, it is a burden, and that's why I don't want to do this. Not for him. Sannyasa cannot become his swadharma. Hence, sannyasa, though is dharma, it is paradharma, because for some other mumukshu who is intensely free from all desires, etc., for him it is a dharma and therefore it is paradharma. But if I do it, is it my dharma? So it is not swadharma. And because it is not swadharma, Shankaranandji says, Napi shreyo hetuhu. It cannot become the shreyo hetu. It cannot become the cause for the ultimate good. Shreyo hetuhu. Kintu. But karma eva swadharmaha shreyo hetushcha. Therefore, if a person wants to misinterpret, he has to first think, is it swadharma or paradharma? Something is right, but is it right for me to do that or not is what he should follow. So therefore, it is the swadharma which is the concept. Okay? So there is not that, just one, a groove is made and everybody is made to fit into it. No, you are an individual. And so important that your every action counts. So remember, it is swadharma, which is shreyo hetuhu, natu paradharmaha. This is the idea. Now, the next topic which is bound to come is, it is Arjuna's question, that what is it that leads a person to choose a wrong course of action? Why do we people fall into the trap of that what is unrighteous, that what is wrong? What is it that takes us? And so this is Arjuna's question. So we will look at this question and also the reply given by Jagat Guru Bhagavan Shri Krishna to it, on which we have the commentary of Shankaracharya. We will see that when we meet next. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Bhadarayanam Sutra Bhashyakritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyoma Vadvyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. Thank you all. Thank you very much.